The history of Madison Schools is presented by the Madison Historical Society, located at 126 West Main. We are open Wednesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 4. In 1798, our first settlers arrived at the mouth of Arcola Creek. Even then, they knew the importance of an education for their children. Homeschooled, these girls and boys were taught to read so they could read the Bible, and the boys, just the boys, were taught arithmetic so they could help understand finances on the farm. The first log schoolhouse was built in Unionville in 1802. Remember, from the history of Madison, that's where our first settlers settled. In 1811, Madison Township was established. In 1815, the first school, called the Block House, was erected on the northwest corner of the town commons in Centerville, the name of Madison area at the time, and was used until 1830, when it was replaced by a larger frame building at the southeast corner of the commons, where Park Methodist Church is today. Construction was also attributed to Addison Kimball, who also constructed many homes in the village. The King School, located at the corner of Dock Road and Cunningham Road, was built in 1821. Possibly because of the shipbuilding industry and the Arcola furnace in the town of Ellensburg. As early as 1824, the state of Ohio passed an act supporting public education and required all townships to provide school locations. 14 school districts were created in Madison Township by the March of 1830. In 1837, the state of Ohio imposed a small school tax to fund education. I know you really wanted that interesting fact. By 1853, Madison Township, now the largest township in Lake County, had 20 schools, which included one-room schools, several two-room schools, and 4 partial schools. How you get a partial school, I have no idea. At this time, there were 1,091 school-aged youth, of which 617 were enrolled in school. There were 39 teachers who were paid a total of $2,019, and a total value of the 20 schools was set at $7,334. Keep in mind, school was in session from November to March, from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 6 days a week, with only Christmas Day as an extra day off. The children were needed to help on the farm. Also keep in mind, students usually only went to school until the age of 14. The school was located at Northridge. This was a South Madison school. This was one of our 2-room schoolhouses at the corner of Cunningham and Dock. In addition, the Madison Seminary was constructed in 1847 on Middle Ridge Road in Madison as a tuition-based institute for higher learning for men and women. From 1861 to 1865, enrollment and average attendance was down. Your knowledge of U.S. history should remind you why. In 1867, Madison Village was incorporated, and in that year, Madison Village School was built on West Main Street. This was a high school, and students from South Madison could attend, with the tuition paid for by the Madison Board of Education. In 1870, schools were configured so that no student was required to walk more than 2 miles to school. In 1872, the school district resolved to have schools in session for 8 months. So begins the move to consolidate students from small schools to larger schools. These are some of the memorabilia we have in our collection. This is a list showing the alumni from each of the years from 1873 to 1888. The consolidation was helped through the use of school hacks for transportation, although securing drivers and establishing routes was a headache for the district. Sound familiar? By 1908, only 5 one-room schools were still in operation. Many of the other schools were purchased and remodeled into private homes and are still used today. In 1889, the state of Ohio required that all children between 8 and 14 years of age attend school. In 1907, North Madison School was built on Northridge Road. The expenditure for the district was $12,468. It replaced a wooden structure. In 1909, the Board of Education authorized the addition of 4 rooms and a basement at the North Madison School for $5,380. On October 29th of 1909, the Board of Education ordered the outhouses to be cleaned and repaired. In 1912, a library was established, and in 1915, the Board of Education petitioned for electric lights. In 1914, the Lake County school system was organized. The official title for Madison Schools was changed from Madison Township Schools to Madison Rural Schools. In 1917, a 3-room John Adams School was constructed in Unionville. In 1920, Madison Memorial High School was constructed on East Main Street. All Madison High School students attended this school. It contained 8 classrooms, a library, an office, gymnasium, and auditorium. This contract was for $120,190. The original Madison Village School was closed in 1927 and torn down in 1957. 1923 was the date for the construction of South Madison Elementary School, with 3 rooms at the corner of Route 528 and Ross Road at a cost of $42,000. 1926 was the construction date for Homer Nash Kimball Elementary School on River Street, with 8 rooms, a gymnasium, auditorium, cafeteria, kitchen, office, and a clinic for $85,000. The school was named for Homer Nash Kimball from the prominent Kimball family. He graduated from Madison Schools and Oberlin College. He worked as a banker at the Madison Exchange Bank and was superintendent of Madison Schools from 1892 till his death in 1904. 1928 saw the addition of a gymnasium, auditorium, cafeteria, and new boiler room at North Madison Elementary. The Depression caused decreased enrollment from 823 in 1925 to 698 in 1940. South Madison and Unionville schools were suspended in 1939. The South Madison School was sold in 1946. It was destroyed by a fire and ultimately torn down. The Unionville School was reopened for the 1940 to 1942 school years, closed again from 1942 to 1949. Again, your knowledge of history will help you understand why. And then it was reopened again for the fall of 1949 for a few years to house the overflow of 6th and 7th graders from other buildings. An industrial arts building was added at the Madison Memorial High School in 1938 with 2 classrooms and a large shop. The years from 1954 to 1957 saw much expansion in our schools. An additional 4 classrooms were added at Homer Nash Kimball, 16 rooms at North Madison Elementary, and the high school added 7 classrooms, a library study hall, gymnasium, locker and shower facilities, and a new heating system. Eventually, in 1962, 6 more classrooms and new offices were added at Homer Nash Kimball, and a new 4th grade wing, library, and kindergarten area were added in 1974. Homer Nash Kimball and North Madison were closed in 2003 and torn down. 1958 saw the opening of Redbird Elementary School, followed in 1962 by Redbird Middle School. This building contained 16 classrooms, offices, library study hall, and gymnasium. An additional 6 classrooms were added the next year. In 1969, construction began on the new Madison High School on Middle Ridge Road at a cost of $2,477,553. In 2007, a new wing was added to accommodate the art and music programs. And in 2011, construction began on a new middle school on Middle Ridge Road and a new elementary school on East Main. Madison Memorial High School was closed and also torn down. Student enrollment today stands at 868 at the high school, 606 at the middle school, 566 at South Elementary, 584 at North Elementary, and 163 in our preschool program. On staff are 194 teachers and a support staff of 113. For over 150 years, the citizens of Madison have desired and worked for better schools. This will certainly continue in the future. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and will visit the Madison Historical Society History Center located on 126 West Main Street on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 4. Thank you.